Think for a moment about a paradox. We often think our senses show us the world as it is. We see a tree, and we believe we are seeing the tree itself. We hear a bird sing, and we think we are hearing the sound directly. But this is not quite right. Our senses are more like map makers than they are windows. They create a representation of the world, a detailed chart that helps us navigate our surroundings. This map is incredibly useful. It guides our every action, from walking across a room to recognizing a friend's face. Without it, we would be lost, unable to interact with our environment in any meaningful way. The paradox is this: the map is not the land it represents. The image of the tree in your mind is not the physical tree made of wood and leaves. The sensation of a bird's song is not the vibration of air molecules. These are translations, electrochemical signals interpreted by your brain. They are incredibly accurate and vivid translations, but they remain translations nonetheless. We live our entire lives within these maps, so much so that we forget they are maps at all. We mistake the representation for the reality, the drawing for the territory. This simple fact challenges our most basic assumptions about how we experience life. Let us try to define consciousness in a simple way. Imagine you are in a completely dark and silent room. Suddenly, a single soft light turns on. This light spreads across the table. This light does not create the objects in the room, but it reveals them. Consciousness is like that light. It is the fundamental awareness that illuminates our inner and outer worlds. It is not the thoughts, feelings, sensations. It is the space in which those things appear and are known. It is the simple, ever-present fact of being aware. This light is what allows you to know that you are seeing a color, feeling warmth, thinking a thought. It is the knowing behind every experience. This inner light shines on two different kinds of landscapes. The first is the outer world. Trees, streets, other people. The second is the inner world. Body and mind. Hunger, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the flow of your thoughts, your sense of passing time. Consciousness is the single unified field of awareness that makes both of these landscapes visible at once. It is the common ground where the world outside and the world inside can meet. It allows you to feel the cool breeze on your skin while also noticing a feeling of peace arise within you. Many people think of consciousness as a complex product of the brain, something that happens only after many other processes are complete. But we can also look at it the other way around. What if consciousness is the primary condition? What if it is the basic screen on which all the movies of life are projected? From this perspective, awareness is not something the brain produces, like a factory making a car. Instead, awareness is the foundational element that allows the brain's activities to be experienced at all. Without this light of knowing, brain activity would just be a biological process. This idea does not make consciousness a mystical or supernatural thing. It simply reframes its position in the order of operations. It is the background, not just a feature in the foreground. It is the canvas, not just one of the colors of paint. Defining it as a light helps us understand its role. A light does not judge or analyze. It simply reveals what is there. In the same way, pure consciousness is the impartial witness to our entire life. It is the quiet hum of knowing that is present from the moment we wake until the moment we fall into a dreamless sleep. It is the most intimate and fundamental aspect of who we are. Our external senses are the translators for the world outside of our bodies. We often think of sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell as direct windows to reality. However, it is more accurate to see them as highly specialized decoding machines. Each sense is tuned to a specific type of physical information from the environment. Your eyes are designed to catch photons, which are tiny particles of light. They do not see redness. They detect a specific wavelength of light, and your brain translates that signal into the experience you call red. The sense of sight is a masterful translation of electromagnetic radiation into a rich, three-dimensional visual map. The same process holds true for all our other external senses. Your ears are not simply open doors for sound to enter. They are intricate instruments designed to detect vibrations in the air. These vibrations are converted into electrical signals that travel along your auditory nerve. Your brain then interprets these signals as the sound of a voice, the rustle of leaves, or the distant rumble of thunder. The physical event is just pressure waves moving through a medium. The felt experience of hearing is a translation, a map of that physical event created for your awareness. Each sense gives you a different kind of map, each useful in its own way. Consider the sense of touch. Your skin is covered in millions of tiny receptors. Some respond to pressure, some to temperature, and others to vibrations. When you run your hand over a rough wooden table, these receptors fire in a complex pattern. This pattern of signals is sent to your brain, which constructs the feeling of roughness. The table itself does not contain the quality of roughness. It simply has a physical texture. The feeling is a product of the translation process, a map of the table's surface that your consciousness can read. Our senses work tirelessly to convert the physical world into a language our minds can understand. These sensory maps are not the world itself, but they are our only way of knowing it. They are what allow us to navigate, interact, and survive. A map of a dangerous cliff is not the cliff, but it is what keeps you from falling. In the same way, the sensory map of an oncoming car allows you to step out of the way. Our external senses are our faithful guides. While our external senses map the world around us, we also possess a powerful set of internal senses. These senses do not look outward. They turn their gaze inward, mapping the landscape of our own bodies. This faculty is sometimes called interoception. It is the sense of the internal condition of your body. It is how you know you are hungry. It is how you know you are thirsty. It is how you feel your heart beating faster when you are nervous, or the pleasant warmth spreading through you as you relax. This inner sense provides a constant stream of information about your biological state, acting as a compass for your internal world. Another crucial internal sense is our sense of time, sometimes called chronoception. This is not a sense with a specific organ, like the eyes or ears, but it is a fundamental part of our experience. It is what gives us the feeling of duration of moments passing. It tells you the difference between a short wait and a long one. This sense of time is highly subjective. A few minutes can feel like an hour when you are bored, or pass in a flash when you are engaged. Your inner clock helps to structure your experience, placing events in a sequence of before and after. It is the rhythm section of your inner orchestra, providing the beat for your life story. These internal senses are just as important as our external ones. They provide the context for our actions and emotions. The feeling of hunger, an internal signal, motivates you to seek food in the external world. The feeling of fatigue, another internal signal, tells you it is time to rest your body. These inner maps are deeply connected to our emotions. The physical sensations that accompany fear, a racing heart, tense muscles, shallow breathing, are all reported by our interoceptive sense. Our emotional life is written in the language of these internal feelings, a story told by the body to the mind. Just like the external senses, these internal senses are translators. They take raw biological data, chemical levels, muscle tension, neural rhythms, and convert it into felt experiences. The sensation of pain is a translation of signals from tissues that are at risk of or are currently experiencing damage. The feeling of calm is a translation of a state of balance in your nervous system. Consciousness, the inner light, shines on these internal maps just as it does on the external ones. It allows you to become aware of your own body, not as an object, but as a living, feeling process that you inhabit. Our inner senses. Our outer senses do not operate in isolation. They are deeply interconnected, working together in a constant, dynamic conversation. This creates what is known as a closed-loop feedback system. Information from the outside world, translated by your external senses, influences your internal state. And information from your internal state, translated by your inner senses, influences how you perceive and act in the outside world. Consciousness is the central meeting point where these two streams of information are woven together into a single, unified experience of being alive. It is where the map of the world and the map of the self are viewed as one. Imagine you are walking barefoot on a beach. Your eyes, external sense, see the waves ahead. Your feet, external sense, feel the cool, wet sand. These signals are sent to your brain. At the same time, your interoceptive sense reports a feeling of calm and relaxation spreading through your body. Your sense of time might slow down as you become absorbed in the moment. Your consciousness reads all these maps at once. The visual map of the ocean, the touch map of the sand, and the internal map of your bodily state. This Tonghi allows for a complete, holistic experience of walking on the beach. As your eyes see a large wave approaching, this external information creates an internal feeling of mild alertness. Your consciousness registers this shift. In response, you might decide to take a few steps back, away from the water. This action changes your relationship with the external world. As you move to drier sand, your feet now send a new signal of warmth and softness. Your internal state might shift back to one of relaxation. The loop is continuous. Sensing leads to feeling, which leads to action, which leads to new sensing. This unified process demonstrates why consciousness is so fundamental. It is the master integrator. It takes the disparate data streams from all your senses, both inner and outer, and binds them into a coherent whole. Without this binding light, you would only have separate fragments of information. An image of a wave here, a feeling of cold, there a sense of a beating heart somewhere else. Consciousness is what stitches it all together into the seamless fabric of reality as you know it. It is the quiet space where the world and the self are not two separate things, but two sides of the same coin, constantly reflecting and shaping one another in an endless, graceful dance. The light that shows you the world is the very same light that shows you yourself. It is the steady, quiet light that makes all our internal and external maps visible.